Now, if you want to know how a professional would build a tool shed, I can't help you. But if you want to see how I built one out of recycled materials and junk, then stick around. Now, you may have noticed that I moved my firewood shelter. It's a little closer to the door now, which makes it easier if there's rain, or more importantly, if there's snow and I need firewood. But there's a second reason. I needed the space where it was before for something else, which for me at least was important. Yeah, I think this old spot can be used for a lot better purpose, especially because the driveway goes right in here, so I can get my truck right next to it. Now, there's many things I'd like a garage would be awesome. I don't have one. Or a workshop, which I'd really love. But I think there's at least one structure I can make here, and it's pretty simple. I need a tool shed. I mean, I keep putting my tools all over the place. They're getting rusty. I don't know where they are. I'm lacking organization in tools. Having a tool shed here would help me immensely. Now, I could go and buy one, get a kit, but I'm not going to do that. I want to reuse, I want to recycle, and I'm cheap. And I think I can build a tool shed right here for nothing and just use stuff that's lying around here and, a few nails that I've got. Now, there is one other structure here that's been an eyesore, which I think I can eliminate that as well. It's the one right over there. My old lumber shelter. I put this thing up, I think about 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago. It was only supposed to last one winter, but it's still here. And I've had it because I don't need it anymore. The lumber that I now store in that new room that I put in underneath. So it's time to get rid of it. However, before I do that, I think there are some things I can use that's in here for this new tool shed. Here's my screws and nails that I've been recycling. Now, a lot of the boards I've already taken out of here, but when I originally built this, see a lot of these 2x4s that are up here, that was from the demo when I did the back of the cabin, and I used them right away, but now I could really use good 2x4s, so using this frame will help with my tool shed. But the other thing that's going to help are these pallets, because I think these, if they're in not too bad shape, a little dirty I guess, will be the walls. Aha! Well, there's where the squirrel's been stashing pine cones for the winter. I guess he's gonna have to find a new spot. Ooh, a little dirty. I can clean it off. The first two pallets needed to be joined together. I used clamps to secure, then wood screws to fasten. I also needed level, flat ground as a base. think I got that stomped down pretty good. It's level, and I put cement blocks or pieces of cement blocks around the edges. That'll just bring it up a little bit. It won't rot as bad on the bottom. Now I've got two of the sides made. Let me just grab one. Oh, they're actually heavier than they look. That should fit right like that. Okay, but the problem is going to be this. I can put the two sides up, but I need the back. And what I need is about 68 inches. And the pallets are 40. So let me just grab a pallet. Now this one can go here, but I'm shy about 20 inches, which is the problem. I also have this half one, which is actually rotted out on that bottom part. But I think what I can do is, the distance between here and here is about 20 inches. I'll just cut it off, use this on the end of that, and that should give me the width of the tool shed. I'm sure there's going to be some adjusting, but I think that's pretty close. Close enough. I'm not looking for perfection. I just want something to store my tools in. Well, the walls are up. A little flimsy though. Needs some additional support. What I want to do is put 2x4s across the top, sort of lock it together. But my only source of 2x4s is the blue monster over there. I think it's time to put that beast out of its misery. Well, I think that's it. It's going down. Well, it left me with another mess to clean up, but at least I have 2x4s. One thing I always do is make sure I remove all the nails from salvaged lumber. You only have to step on one nail to learn a valuable lesson. The first top plate straddled both sides to secure all three walls at once.
This meant an additional piece was needed to secure the side plates.
That's a little stronger now. Well, now the walls are up and reasonably secure. The next step is the roof. And the good news is I already had one. Because it's right here. Now, I'd been meaning to remove this cap, or topper as some people call it, from the back of the pickup truck for some time, but the problem is I didn't know where to put it. I didn't want it to just be another piece of junk lying around, another eyesore. There had to be a purpose for it, and I think I've got one. Only thing is, I gotta figure out how to get this from here to over there by myself. And I think I have a plan.
The truck cap was secured by 4 clamps, which just required a wrench to remove. A 2x4 in my shoulders was enough to prop it up.
It's off. Now, let's see if that's going to hold enough that I can get a 2x4 in there. Now here's some of the 2x4s that I removed for that Blue Monster. And they're long. I think these are I think they're 10 feet, maybe 12 feet. But what I did is I put some blocks in the end. That way I can put them on the bed, top of the bed, and it would prevent them from sliding when I try to slide the cap over. And oh, looks like I ran over one when I was bringing the truck in. Oh well, I think it'll still work. And it did. Yay! One down.
I originally sealed the cap with pipe insulation, so you'll see bits of it fall off as I slide the ramps across. I decided the middle ramp was better secured to the closer railing, so slid it over.
So far, so good. Shit, it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. Too easy, I'm suspicious. There we go. There's only one problem. I got it backwards. That's the entrance. It's supposed to be over that way. Duh. I guess I gotta twirl it. Well, it's more or less in place. Just gotta remove my ramps. Well, I took a week off. I didn't get this done, but now because it's colder and it's gonna rain, I gotta finish it. Right now, it's not a tool shed. It's just a stand for my truck topper. To make it a tool shed, needs another wall, needs a door, and yeah, I got some holes to fill in as well, so no more talking. I don't have a lot of time. Let's get this done. Well, there we go. Now I have the final wall and the door. I also have a little hook here just so I can lock it in place like that and bring down that. And these actually lock, so I can actually lock this. Not that you can't get in here if you really wanted to, but a little bit of security and a little bit of dew this morning. Now the next step is to make it more moisture proof, and I think I have an idea for that. Now I think I've had this tar paper ever since I bought the cabin, but I also might have bought some for the addition. I can't remember. But this is going to be my wrap. You know, that's probably the ugliest tool shed you've ever seen, and I think you'd be right. However, bear with me, because I'm not finished yet. Now, when I built the addition, I started off with utility grade shingles, which is what these are. And utility grade is code for kindling, because they're not much good for anything else. They're certainly not good for the side of a building. So I ended up buying a better grade, but I was left with these. Now I can use them. Well, I got it built, sort of. It ain't a work of art. However, it is a tool shed. And the storm's coming in. I guess I've got to gather up my kindling, put things in the tool shed I don't want to get wet, and batten down the hatches. that last rainstorm showed me a lot. First of all, it showed me that this is not rainproof. It's dripping in, and the problem is where the roof cap meets the wall, it's just going right into the wall and then going into the tool shed. Looked under the cabin, and sure enough, I found something. A drip cap. I think I've got enough. It's old, but it should still work. I mean, it goes along on the outside here like that. After it's secured, the next step is good old duct tape. To make sure it's got a little bit of a downward slope, I'm just going to pull it down and staple it in place.
At least now it's starting to look like a tool shed.
Well, that's enough of the outside. It's time to work on the inside. And I just love it. I mean, look at all this space. I mean, I can spread my arms out this way, touch the sides, but it's above. Look how high it is. You know, there's so much room above my head. It's incredible. You know, when this was in the back of the truck, there was no room up here at all. As a matter of fact, the equivalent is kind of being down like this, which is why it doesn't make a good camper. But a topper, if you can bring it up, the possibilities are endless. I mean, if this was for a camper, you know, there's so much room to walk around. I could put like cabinets here, maybe a sink, maybe a couch here and a bed, more space up here. It's wonderful, but it's not like that in the back of my truck. So that's why I'm making it into my tool shed. And I really need the tool shed.
Now, before adding anything, I needed to remove a few items to make way. Little goes to waste when I repurpose wood. Even this split piece has a couple feet of good 2x4. I now had 2 levels of wraparound shelves made entirely from cast-off lumber. That's at least a closet full of new storage space. But I needed another rain test before I could fill it up.
Well, after another rainstorm in the middle of the night, I awoke to find out that my tool shed inside is soaking wet. That my attempts at rainproofing it so far have failed.
I first tried pipe insulation like I'd used in the truck. This proved less than perfect as it seemed to absorb the water instead of repel it. Next, I cut up a foam exercise mat I'd salvaged from the old trailer. It had at least one smooth surface. As for securing, I'd hoped to reuse the truck clamps, but they didn't open wide enough for a 2x4. So I ended up using some old 3-inch C-clamps instead to secure the topper and to compress the seal.
You can see my counters are absolutely soaking wet. And thank goodness I haven't actually put anything in here yet. But it looks like where it's coming from, at least here, is on this groove here is all soaking wet because of these sliding windows. And I never sealed them up. Didn't think I needed to. Yeah, but, you know, because I wanted to keep them so I could still slide these open. But do I really need that in a tool shed? So I'm going to seal these up. Hopefully that'll at least get rid of this problem, because there's no way I'm going to put stuff in here when it's like that.
But rather than assume, I did a test. Pouring a bucket of water did show water leaking through the window, so I was right about that. However, water was also gushing in from the foam seam, even more than from above. I suspect it was the textured side of the foam that was to blame for this.
Well, at this part of the video, I guess I have to retract a statement I made at the beginning, because I really thought that I could make this tool shed only using things that I was salvaging, that I could repurpose, that was just hanging around the cabin, and that I wouldn't have to spend a cent. Unfortunately, I learned that there was one thing that I got stuck on, and that was weather stripping. I just cannot seal, where the topper meets this wall. I tried various materials and it did not work, so I admit defeat, but I was really close, because I actually did have some proper weather stripping on the back of the truck at the tailgate. I needed to seal that when I went camping in Algonquin, and I had a little bit left, but this is not enough to go all the way around. So yes, I spent about $30 Canadian, which is probably, I don't know, about $23 American, for some proper topper weather stripping. You can see the ribbing, it's really good quality. I've got 13 feet, just over 13 feet. That's enough for both sides. And then I can use this for the back. So I think I've got enough. I probably will have to buy a couple of little clamps as well. A little investment, but I still think that's going to be worth it. So I got all I need now, and yes, that 4-letter word is coming in either today or in the next few days, so I really want to seal this up.
I doubled up on the duct tape before I peeled the self-adhesive tape back and applied the weather stripping. One problem with cold temperatures is that the adhesive doesn't stick very well. But once clamped down, it should adhere enough until warmer temperatures arrive. I also dug a small trench on the uphill side and filled it in with gravel to help keep the floor dry. One last tweak. I added a ridge board on the entrance wall and door and just placed some pipe insulation there. If it actually seals the hatch window, then I'll spray some adhesive later on to fasten it permanently. And by the next morning, that white stuff made its seasonal debut.
Well, it's official. Winter is now here. Was I successful in sealing up my tool shed? Let's find out. Oh. Hey, this isn't bad at all. There's a little moisture right here, but it's not bad. This is all dry. This is dry. You put the proper seal in and you're rewarded. I don't think I could have done without it. Even the pipe insulation has kept things from coming in by the entrance. So I'm there. It works. Probably have to do a little bit more if there's a torrential downpour. But in snow, it's bone dry. Now I can put some tools in here.
Well, it didn't take me long to fill up my new tool shed with stuff that needed storing. And I even left a little space on the counter for me to work from. I'm in tool storage heaven. And as I was filling up the tool shed, I spotted a spy watching every move I made. Eventually, she wandered down to see for herself. I think this turkey really liked my tool shed and invited her girlfriends to check it out as well. Well, that's another little project complete. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave you to follow the wild turkeys down the road. Until next time, of course. Keep warm